Welcome back to the HGC Finals at BlizzCon. Currently, we are 1-all in the semifinal between Team Dignitas and Miracle. In Game 1, Miracle was able to stop Dignitas' aggression with the Kerrigan, but it was not to be had with the Gen.G and a Tracer.
Yeah, definitely not. That setup destroyed them absolutely. Not getting a single kill on that map pretty much showed how strong Dignitas performed here.
Any thoughts as to where we might be going next, Trick?
Ooh, a couple of options. I think we all would love to see a Towers of Doom. Obviously, one of our favorite battlegrounds to watch, especially when Dignitas is on it. But we could be seeing anything like a European special. 2-man Spider Queen could be great too.
Any thoughts as to what Miracle might be feeling here as far as a map or first pick?
A lot of it does come down to, I think, we've seen what happens when the Warriors get prioritized. The Garrosh, the Diablo, we know that JPL and Judy, they've both excelled on those. The Anubrak, the Korean special pairing with the Ural. But if you don't get those options, I look at somebody like JPL, with all due respect to Judy, JPL has so many heroes that he's known for, the Murd, and we haven't seen that in so long. He's kind of disappeared at this tournament. Gilly, one that we like, that we always know that Dignitas can pull out.
Artanis.
It's also by pulling people. Yeah, Artanis, clearly Artanis. But the Stitches, I mean, they have so many things that they can do. That's what makes this team special. So depending on what map we go to, I think that front line, so they either need to prioritize the front line or really heavily commit to a Frankel-style play.
Yes, when in doubt.
Hook them out.
I knew you had my back there, buddy. Beyond that, expectations now for Miracle and the mindset. We talked to them before this tournament, and I asked, whose job is it to make you feel better, to raise spirits when you start to lose, when times get tough? Because undoubtedly times are tough right now. And they said, it's kind of Nacho Gen, but then somebody ruins that for them. Do you remember who that was?
Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
Beetle.
Why?
Because he tells bad jokes.
He tells dad jokes.
Dad
He tells the best jokes.
He tells Trixler jokes is what they really said.
That's how bad it was, exactly.
That's why Blue Beetle is one of my favorite sports.
Because you're both not funny.
Blue Beetle's kind of
That
funny.
hurt.
It's okay.
That was painful, dude. In front of this crowd, you're going to say that? Dang, dude.
A line was divided in the desk this day. We know Gen.G is waiting in the wings, and now we've kind of seen how both of these teams are feeling today, on the day, the final day of BlizzCon. Who do we feel is maybe going to be a better match for Gen.G in those grand finals?
Oh, I mean, like, I definitely want to see them going up against Dignitas.
100%.
I want the repeat from the mid-season Brawl Grand Final. I feel like most people, at least from the Western scene, want that rematch. But again, Miracle deserves to be in the semis. They already have shown that they can take down Dignitas. So I wouldn't call it too soon yet. Exceptional play on game map number 2, but that series is not over.
Well, I have to break it to everybody now that Trixler was awful and checked and knew what map we were going to beforehand. Trixler!
Oh, it's like,
Gotta sell him out.
What do you want from me? It's right in front of my screen.
How did you know? How did you know? The European favorite, I mean, you called it.
What do you want me to say, Praxis?
All right, we're going to 2 with the Spider Queen. This is a European specialty, and Team Dignitas is the team to take us there.
I will say that when you do look at the map pools, knowing that Dragonshire was banned, a very good map for Dignitas and Full Sky on BOE, it does seem like a likely one. So Trick had some research done, even though he didn't.
And there's more to it too, because there's the aspect of you've just gotten a win with Dignitas, and you was a demoralizing loss for Miracle. But when you look at our battlegrounds, Tomb of the Spider Queen in Europe is one of those battlegrounds that if you think that you are better than your opponent, you beat them down. You go for the double turn-in, and that can be a way to really just knock Miracle out mentally when it comes to the rest of the best of 5 series. Take up the Tomb, shut them down with the double turn-in, and go from there.
Well, one of the Warriors is let through now. The way that these bans have played out, Miracle, I think, is making a play around that. Garrosh will go. And now keep in mind that we saw Johanna last game. Johanna is very good on this battleground as well. It's just a matter of, will Dignitas be willing to commit to that because they only have 2 picks before the second ban?
I love the adjustment with Medivh, though. I really, really like it that on this map in particular, they're just saying, okay, we're not going to deal with that. And it leaves, as you said, a tank open. And that's the choice that they have to make right now. And they go for Diablo.
Yeah, I was wondering about Diablo or Tyrande, and they decided to go with the Diablo, which I think we need to go with. I mean, I was talking about it yesterday, but there's 4 heroes in particular that are very important. Miracle. It's Diablo, Garrosh, Thrall, and Blaze. If you have 2 out of those 4 in any capacity, Miracle typically gets a victory. So Diablo is going to be their major pickup and the major reason why they might be able to get a win here.
But Gen.G has still been let through the draft. Yeah, he doesn't offer a lot in terms of being able to wave clear and keep that going, but if you know that you have that, that is a secret weapon, and that's something that was just destroying Miracle in the last game. So something that Miracle had to keep in mind. I think that's why we saw that pause before going into the Diablo pick.
Genji is also fantastic for giving you the map control here. You always have those quick rotations with this mobility towards the bot lane, so you can offset the balance in the one-on-one setup. So it's definitely a pick that can still come out. But the first thing that we're seeing is looking already for a Wombo setup here with the Jaina for the burst damage and with Deckard Cain.
This is something that we've seen before with Miracle in their run. When they took down Ballistics, they used the Jaina, have the wave clear now that you're lacking with the Decker Diablo, and now we could see that flex over. The one thing I always like about Rayners against Diablo in competitive play, that penetrating round is just waiting for that shadow charge at any given moment, because that can be interrupted. So in the hands of Poik or Snitch, depending on who that is, you know that you're going to be trying to keep Diablo off of you. So Urel coming in the second part of the bans here, which means that we're likely to see that Blaze, even the Leoric, which used to be an old EU special, kind of saw his way out. But when you look at the lack of mobility of a Jaina, Leo is a bit more appealing to try and get a flank.
You were talking about earlier, but is it time for the Stitches to come out for JPL? You have that Tyrande, Music Ball for the Lunar Flare, you got the Wave Clear available with the W build that we've been seeing from a lot of Stitches in the past. Sure, there's been more tanky builds coming out lately, but it can work certainly well here on 2-Man Spider Queen.
I'm waiting for it.
It's gonna be a Tyrael and a Blaze coming out.
Wow, how did you know? Dude, like that was insane prediction. I love it.
But
that's a European caster right there.
Right there, yeah, got you.
Okay.
Screen's hard in my way, man. I'm sorry, my bad.
You get the double protection. We've seen this. This was actually something that worked really well when you go back to the first Western Clash. It was something that we saw a lot of teams run. I think it was during the Zealots run. So you have the stun potential to come out from the Blaze. Depending on what we get here, knowing that Jaina's already locked in, I don't think that's as threatening. So the Genji's picked in, so you don't have this super point-and-click lockdown.
This is where Dignitas can choose. Do we want Snitch to be hyper-aggressive? Do we want this to be a more macro-focused play from them? This is the pick and the choice of how they want to play. They've left it up. It's a great way of drafting. And I wonder if we're going to get Snitch back on a melee assassin here.
I think they need something with mobility, because right now, the Tyrande and the Raynor, if a Leoric comes in there, the Greymane, so they're going to rip a Cursed Bullet, but a Diablo coming in into an Entomb, and then you've got Genji, you've got Jaina, that is so much damage that can come out in an instant. So going with Greymane, though, was not the hero I think anybody really expected there. It's something that we've known Snitch to play for a very long time, but our current meta has not been favorable towards Greymane.
Yeah, I was stretching towards that Thrall, or even maybe that Zeratul, which has been showing a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's who I thought it was going to be. I was waiting, and when I said I'm waiting to see it, was Zeratul, and partially it's because Miracle has banned a lot of Zeratul, and they've had to ban other things versus Team Dignitas because there are other concerning picks for them. But I think Miracle are more locked into what certain melee assassins they can play than the flexibility that Snitch provides.
I mean, the Leoric is also something that, at least in Europe, has heavily dropped off. We've seen it very, very rarely. Now it adds the extra wave clear on the map that you can get here. But it's not quite necessarily what I expected. I expected something with a bit more kill potential on the offlane.
That's the thing, is that we now have, it's all about Wubby's bunkers, because the minute those Entombs come down, he better be nearby, because you can put the bunker just outside the Entomb and click to get in it. So I think a lot of it, their positioning is going to be very crucial when it comes to those team fights post-level 10.
Whereas Judy has dominated all through the group stage on Garrosh, how are we feeling about him being able to at least get Diablo in this match?
Oh, I prefer his Diablo over his Johanna or Nubrak any day. His Diablo is devastating. He knows how to get in there, and the thing is, he stays alive for an eternity with or without the help of his support.
Like, he played extremely well on the Diablo, especially against Liquid. Like, he had some great scenes there. So I have no doubt that this is going to be really difficult for Dignitas to control. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with that. The Leoric, still curious to see how much that comes into play here for them. Level 20, on the other hand, is going to be rough. Once you have Buried Alive, if it ever comes to that point, then Leoric just power spikes so hard.
Right. Well, this is it. The next game will determine who is one game away from the Grand Finals and a match with Gen.G. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Dignitas on 2-Man Spider Queen, a European special Caldor. Will Miracle be able to hold it?
I mean, you're the one with the amazing predictions. The map choice is coming out here, so if anyone can tell me, it's you.
Dignitas has got this. They got the poke. They got the delays available. Blaze here as well to help out with those Entombs that should be coming out of Miracle. Dignitas going to a traditional map for them, and Wubby is going to be a star player here. I can feel it.
I mean, he has to be. He already delivered on the last match, but my eyes are still locked onto Judy with that Diablo. If he can make the engages happen, of course, there's a Reyna on the other side who's trying to stop you with a penetrating round. We have also other tools like the jet propulsion alone, but still, he needs to be the one who makes the plays for his team.
Well, here we go into the third map here. Dignitas on the far left. JPL. Tyrael is going to be played by him. A Blaze on Wubby here, Foik on Raynor, and we're going to be having Snitch showing off the gray main, unexpected, as Zalia will be showing off Tyrande. It is Team Dignitas.
It's game number 3, and to the right side of the map in the red, we have Gen.G, played by a sniper. We see Frankel on Jaina for all that burst damage to confirm the target. Nacho Jin on Leoric for the offlane. Blue Beetle on the support. He's rocking the Deckard Cain. Judy on Diablo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Miracle!
As mentioned in the draft, a lot of protection here for Dignitas between the Blaze and Tyrael. But if there is any misrotation for Dignitas, Miracle with that Entomb should be able to kill. But hang on, Dig coming out firing once again as they jump straight on top of Judy. Judy backing up straight to the potions, not to take some damage too, but Dignitas, man, they are loving these early game team fights.
They definitely do, and that was already a big win for them. And oh, they continue the fight even more, trying to go for a sniper here. So far, it looks like he might be able to get away, but hold that thought. He goes down, Gen.G dead, and Dignitas with the first blood in game number 3.
You do not typically get a pick on a Gen.G in the early game, but that Swift Strike being used, and Wubby able to idolize it, move in, and get the full engage, allows for Dignitas to get that pick up. Now we're going to go straight into the wave clear here, which if you look at it, Miracle has great wave clear when you look at Frankel in particular on that Jaina, and this is actually a star hero for him. So watch for him around level 10 in particular to be destructive against Dignitas.
It was still a pretty big setback that they took so much damage in the early game, because a lot of the players outside of Gen.G had to just move back and tap at the fountain, so that's already not an option any longer for them, for the time being at least. But I'm still looking towards how much Diablo is going to impact this game. We're going to wait for him to get a couple of stacks together on his soul so that he is a lot more hit point heavy. And then we'll probably have a bit of a tougher time for Dignitas to really get the kills. It's really Greymane who then has to deliver later on.
Early bruiser camp here from Miracle, getting the offensive play, but Dignitas realizing that there was not a rotation on the map, is going to guess their opponents were on top of that camp, but Tyrande may have scattered out as well. So they grab their camp and should have the defensive capability for this, meeting up with the spell camp right at their turret. So he should be able to handle that and also deal with Miracle, who typically goes for a drop-off when you go for that first initial push at the bruiser camp.
In talents, you can now also see a few of the differences that we highlighted earlier. We now Austin's Renewal on Leoric is taken on level 1 for Miracle. When Dignitas were running Leoric on Infernal Shrines, they went into the Consume Vitality. Now, a lot of that had to do with the cooldown reduction that you really want to activate throughout the entire Shrine phase, but it shows again that especially Korean teams are very dominant when it comes to that Austin's Renewal to give them value.
Camp in favor Dignitas here in the middle. Judy goes in for a flip, trying to get close to the turret. It's not quite there, but at least in range here for Nachogen to help out with that wave clear. That Neil Peasant to level 4, helping destroy that lane here in the middle. 19 gems have been dropped off by Dignitas, building towards that first turn-in that we typically see from them.
They have a lot of interrupt potential here too through Tyrande alone. Just sending the Owls and the Lunar Fair through can help you to make sure that your opponent doesn't turn in. Now granted, there's also a couple of tools for Miracle. We're talking about Deckard Cain, you have Gen.G available, and also to an extent Jaina, depending on how far you're willing to go and how much you're going to risk there. But right now, the objective mainly controlled by Dignitas. 25 turned in, and only 5 missing before they can complete a turn-in.
Yeah, you were talking about Jaina, that Frost Shard really helps out with that clear, that Pierce being available, make sure that she doesn't get in too much trouble in terms of trying to delay that turn-in. But Wubby also will be pretty instrumental in that bottom lane, helping out with the fire, of course, as he continues to throw out that oil. JPL juking and jiving here on the top side, while Frankel goes for the first turn-in from Miracle. We'll be able to get it. No, another delay once again.
Yeah, there comes the Lunar Flare that we've been talking about. The interrupt potential through Zalia. And he's, of course, getting those stacks in with it, too, sitting at 2 for now. Rotations between the top turn-in point and the bottom are pretty frequent here, as both of the teams are trying to sneak something in. But it might very well come down to another big battle between the two.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder if Dignitas wants to have that battle. Do they want to wait till level 10 with that signification so you can empower that gray main, allow for him to go for that full-on dive, find a target? Jaina would be the main target for him. Dignitas continuing to build up towards that. 25 gems have been dropped off, but Judy looking for his own engage, goes straight in for Foik.
That was actually a really good attempt, but the follow-up from Blue Beetle was a bit off there. That could have definitely been a kill if he lands that properly. I think there was a bit of a mistake in communication between Diablo and Deckard Cain. outside of that, this could have been the first kill for Miracle, and especially Poik needs to be careful here because he is the prime target for them.
But it still shows that Judy willing to pull up that initiative, and that Diablo really allows for him to have that initiative and find those engages. He'll definitely have more opportunities to find those picks.
Especially now that he has a couple of souls available. He's already sitting at 77, so that hit point pool is allowing him to make these plays without exposing himself too much. Snitch, of course, still at the frontier, able to move away as Judy was hoping to put him into trouble.
Yeah, Judy went for that full engage, but Snitch is bit completely back, knowing they have the teammates to back him up. Poik doing his best here to push Judy away while JPL goes for that turn, and he has the level gems available to him. Dignitas, tight backward zone, needs to be careful. Blue Beetle, constantly with that poke, should prevent them from getting that turn in.
I mean, Europe is known to get the double turn in, get one turn in and try and take a bit of a lead, just spiral that towards the level 10, and then with the heroic abilities as an advantage, you're looking for the second one. Again, the engage onto Poike though, as Miracle is looking for the fight. They excel at team fighting. They've done such an incredible job against Tempest, through that in particular, and of course they're going to look to be the aggressive team in this match.
One of the reasons why Diablo is so strong on this battleground, Judy already finishing that Soulstone quest, having all 100, so that full tank capacity, being able to make sure that he has that region available for him, and that really allows for him to keep up this aggressive play that he keeps pulling off. Now in the bottom lane, we constantly have these two continuing to fight back and forth, and they have a hefty amount of gens on the Nocturne Gen, sitting on 32.
Level 7 for Leoric also, no hopelessness for him. Instead, we're having the drain momentum here. So the added movement speed that you get through that. And once again, that mobility can really help you on the map here, especially in those team fights to launch onto these targets. Here comes Judy once more onto Zelia. Gets a bit of damage in, but the turnaround attempt as we're seeing Greymane engage.
Judy just does not care. He will dive time and time again. He knows he has Decker to back him up. He was looking for an engage near a turret of Dignitas. Say there was somebody that was able to drop some CC there. He may have taken some shots and maybe fallen victim, but he doesn't mind. Snitch, however, in trouble. Kiting away, a sniper punishes.
That he really brought the pain there. Gen.G did so well. Sniper following that up and already thinking about going even a bit deeper, but that would have baited him too much. 9 on both sides, both waiting for the heroic abilities here.
Judy.
And again, the attack towards Poik.
Poik was putting some damage on Sniper. He did get him to back up. Judy comes in and gets a snap, but the turn-in actually happening here for Miracle.
Leoric zoning out Whoopi at the bot lane, and then we saw the turn being completed here, so Miracle is going to try and build up a bit of momentum. It's actually a bit of a dangerous situation for Dignitas. They themselves are close to 10, but if Miracle gets that quickly enough, they could even try and dive behind it. Looks very likely that both are going to get their heroics at the same time, but there's a small chance for Miracle to make maybe a play.
Yeah, you certainly have to watch out for that Entombment be coming out. If they try to catch him even over the wall, that could be the pickup. And then, of course, Judy is showing a hefty amount of aggression. He's willing to dive. He's Dignitas is going to play it safe here, sit behind the turrets, and make sure to clear this up. They'll hit 10 just in time to have this defense.
And now, of course, the question, how much is Miracle going to get out of this? Some pressure at the bot lane, but most of their aggression is focused onto the middle of the map, where we're seeing the turrets being destroyed, the fountain about to go down. Can they take the fort, though? That's the question.
That curse bullet online for Greymane, hoping to blow up Diablo, who's been pretty aggressive. You can make sure you can follow up straight to that curse bullet, see if you can get that kill. Dignitas defends the middle lane, but the bottom is in trouble. Bunker comes out from what? And there's a blizzard, and he's picked.
He goes down, and that's a lot of gems that they just lost, and they're not stopping there. Miracle goes in, the Sanctification's already on the ground as they're trying to save them somehow. The turnaround attempt, but Nacho Jin survives on Leoric. Judy goes in again. They try to go for the kill, and they get it. Tyrael falls.
Sniper on that back line, looking at Poik. Leoric also getting picked there at the same time, but a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Miracle. And the big news, too, is they take out the fort in the bottom left.
They take out the fort, they are ahead in experience now, and let's not forget that with them taking down Whoopi, they also make sure that Dignitas loses a fair amount of gems here. They're trying to make that even more as Snitch is the target, but with Miracle currently just, they get the second turn. They confirm it. They go straight for turn in number 2, and now Dignitas has to be careful. If they lose another few heroes, if they lose even more gems, this could be a disaster.
Exactly. This is a position that we see many teams in, and usually a majority of them falter. They fall victim, something that keeps under pressure. They lose a couple of gems. The pick goes haywire. Dignitas has to remain composed and defend.
The pressure is already there. The pressure is already there at the top lane, taking the turrets down, pushing the wave out, making sure that the Web Weaver becomes very dangerous to the top fort, and then the rotation into the middle of the map. Bot lane also, Leoric escorting the web weavers towards the keep wall. Miracle wants the 13, and they're likely to get it here.
Dignitas thinking about maybe going for an engage. They bring Webby up here to the middle lane, has that bunker available. There is no sync for about 20 seconds, but they really would like to clear up this web weaver. It's at about half health. Spellar Camp is going to help out with the defense, but Gen.G in the top is just shelling away on that fort.
And he's getting some damage in against Snitch too, so this is actually a pretty big battle, which forces a rotation from Dignitas. They're making the moves right now with Tyrande and Reyna moving in. Sniper had to retreat, but here comes a question of Apocalypse.
Judy saw an opportunity, but that opportunity was false. He went in for an APOC, was hoping to get off the full combo, but Dignitas backs away easily, especially with the fort already having to deal with the minion wave pushing in.
Now 13 on the other hand, here's the Entomb. They go for Snitch. They stun it to the wall, and down goes Greymane. Miracle with another kill.
Beautiful aggressive play there from Miracle, and they're wanting a little bit more too. Judy stepping up, but having no cooldowns available, he will be unable to find a pick, but they get the fort. And the first layer defense is completely gone for Dignitas.
That was incredibly well done by Miracle. Getting that kill a bit later than they expect, but they still got it now 2 levels ahead, and they turn their attention towards the boss immediately, trying to barrel through that top lane and maybe even already threaten keep. Dignitas, they scout it out, but they can't do anything about it.
No, they can't. Off the waiter down here, get level 13, play it safe, and defend. The good news is the gem turn-in being available. It took over 2 Miracle here. Only 43 out of 60 gems, so you're not going to have to deal with a boss and a turn-in at the same time, but still, a boss pushing towards you is a threat. Dignitas is going to be working for that 13 and try to hold on.
And Dignitas continues to lose gems. They have enough to secure a turn-in, but they currently hold 33. So there's still a little bit for them to lose. The boss is strong at that top lane. Leoric making his way through the middle right now, pushing this in as well. And the experience just keeps on tickling towards Miracle.
Dignitas might try to go for this fight. Lunar Flare goes out. Ooh, Gen.G immediately out of there. Leoric pushing in the middle lane too, so Dignitas will be there. But they're so reactive right now. They don't have a chance to even step up and get that turn-in.
And now we have Miracle turning in whatever they have. So they make sure that even if they lose a hero or two, that there's no upset for them when it comes to the objective itself.
They actually got enough now for the full turn-in. Will they get it here?
I mean, during all of this, we saw Leoric just pushing out the bot lane, and he got so much experience in the middle before he made that rotation even. So he still holds the rest of the gems, and he can't just get the turn-in yet. But here comes Dignitas. They get the web weavers. The big question here is just, when is Miracle going to hit 16? Because that would be great for them to defend.
Exactly. Dignitas is hoping to make a splash here.
Oh.
Kind of 4 or even find a couple of kills.
They actually get the bottom camp.
Yeah,
he
they
was
get over
there
here.
just in time to keep it active.
So they get the giant camp. They'll have the 3 web weavers pushing in. What can they do with this? They ideally would love to take down a couple of forts. Sure, you might only get 1 here, but Miracle, they have some pretty solid wave clear. Look at Jaina, look at Leoric. They should be able to handle this.
The problem is, how does Dignitas force a fight?
Yeah.
They can do it around the jet propulsion and also around the Tyrande stun, but outside of that, there's very little that they can pull off here. They try and go for nitrogen. He turns around, gets the double entomb. APOC not used. There's not enough around. They didn't collapse. They only had 3 heroes in the middle and made the choice to walk away.
Nitrogen's low on health, but he should be able to escape, but that 4 is the one that's in trouble. Frank comes over and drops down the water elemental. He's trying to force the engage. Blue Beetle steps up, stay a while and listen. He'll hit Snitch, but the bunker comes out. Dignitas turns around, jet propulsion. There goes 1. Sanctification, and there's a second.
Double kill against Jaina and Deckard Kane, and they go for the triple as Leoric falls. Miracle loses the fort in the mid lane, and they lose 3 heroes. Dignitas back to business.
Exactly what Dignitas needed, and now they can play for that level 16 and tie up the experience. They push out the middle and start to tread through. And the good thing about a Greymane, even though we don't see him very often, he destroys structures.
Pure execution on the side of Miracle, and now they might be the first one to lose a keep here. They don't have anyone to defend. Dignitas, they have 16, and after taking a beating in the early stages of the game, they are now taking the lead in game number 3.
At any moment, Dignitas can just flip that switch. Beautiful play by them. The full engage from Miracle coming forward, but the turnaround on the bunker and the decision to destroy a target was instantaneous.
Miracle has to communicate better. The Entomb was there. They didn't follow it up with an Apocalypse. They just decided, guys, we only have 3 here. We can't go for it. But then again, for the second time in a row, we're seeing an Apocalypse that just doesn't get a lot of value. And with 2 heroics already being used and not getting anything, immediately Miracle loses 2 as Dignitas goes straight for the kill switch. Now they get another turn in. They are riding the momentum train, and Miracle is all of a sudden in a very, very awkward position.
The question is, what can they get with momentum, though? Because this is their last turn, and they have no more gems available after this, so Dignitas will be in a bit of a lull for a little bit. So let's see what they can get with these web weavers. Miracle on the other side, if they can defend, they do have enough gems to go for their own turn in. Top side, Nitrogen taking some damage here, but Tyrael's not going to get that kill.
It's going to be an easy defense at the bot lane. And you raise a really good question. How much can Dignitas get out of this? Because bot side is defended quite easily. Middle keep is already gone. So naturally, you would focus your attention towards the top of the map. But it's a little bit doubtful if Dignitas gets a lot out of this.
Dignitas pushing out this middle lane to make Miracle defend that. They want to go for this keep here. That's their major play. That would be their greatest achievement if they can pull that off with this turn in here. There they go, finally rotating over. This keep wall will easily go down. The keep is the question, and Miracle already setting up for the defense. You have Noctogen ready with that Needle Peasant to clear it up.
And this is really the one play that they can try and make here. But if Miracle gets a good combo off with that N2, with that Apocalypse, and the follow-up, then this could also turn very quickly into a graveyard for Dignitas, bunker or no bunker. Cooldowns haven't really been used yet, but the defense is ready for Miracle as Dignitas tries to go for keep number 2.
The Web Weaver's already low. I'm keeping an eye on Greymix. This should be the one to pull the trigger here to go in. There goes that Wubby. Jet propulsion into a Lunar Flare. Sniper turns around, puts some damage out, but the keep only tickled.
Yeah, keep loses a few hit points, but that's just simply not enough. The fight's still raging on. The Entomb is there, and it hits a Snitch, but the Sanctification is being used by JPL to keep him in play.
That Shadow Stalk was so brilliant there, making it to where you couldn't click on him. And of course, Noctogen gets turned around on it, cleaned up, as Dignitas completely destroys him. Judy seems to be next. There it is. Dignitas just knows how to turn around a team fight.
Miracle making some questionable decisions here, and they're losing a third. Down goes Jaina, and that's a chance for Dignitas to get even more. Snitch doesn't even die.
How is Greymane still alive? Snitch gets out with a sliver of his health and will get healed up by Tyrande. Two have fallen, and Dignitas makes the play for the boss. They push on over, and with the Greymane, they clear this up.
They're in a fantastic spot right now, and you have to really question the decisions that Miracle has been making. That defense at the top, trying to chase that down, and especially Laura going this deep, getting immediately blown up after coming out of the Wraith Walk, and now we're having a boss barreling through that top lane. Dignitas, they can look to finish here. If they get another kill with the keep already on half health, that's definitely an opportunity to take the lead in this series.
Exactly, round 2, Dignitas versus this keep, and it looks like this keep might not be able to take this round here. Web Weavers will be coming out, but that should be an immediate cleanup. Dignitas is going straight past the Web Weaver, and there it goes. Catapult pressure in the top lane will be coming pretty soon here as this Banshee attempts to clean it up. There we go, boss is going straight for the score.
And that's a healthy boss, and keep in mind, Judy lost his head, so and he's down again! He falls, the counter kill though gets Greymane, and that's a huge amount of the damage that is available on Dignitas' side, but that boss is still on the core.
That's still your core rush there. Boy's trying to step up and get some damage, but that water elemental is slowing him down. Wubby goes in for another jet propulsion, and the core is starting to be tickled down as Dignitas is looking for the win here. The bunker comes out, there's a Sanctification too, 50% on the core. Miracle trying to defend, but the boss is just wheeling away.
They're layering it, and Miracle is about to fall. The kills are coming in, but it is too late.
Wow.
Dignitas takes the win onto the Spider Queen and the lead in the series.
That game was in Miracle's hand.
Yeah.
They overstepped a couple of times, and Dignitas just has the awareness to turn around and fight at any point. Constantly, Noctogen on that Leoric was looking for that big N2, looking for that big engage, that big swing. And Dignitas said, no, if you're gonna get that close to me, we're gonna dispatch you, and deleted him both times.
From Dignitas' perspective, it was really great play to wait for these moments when you could start the turnaround and then go straight for the kills, take them and really snowball it with objectives taken, with the boss control too. But if you look at Miracle, they have to be extremely unhappy with this because they had that game.
Yeah, I think you have to keep that in mind, is this game looked dire early on for Team Dignitas, but there was a time in European Tomb of the Spider Queen where Dignitas often fell behind to teams like Fnatic J-How.
For a very long game,
yes,
too, mind you, at that. Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it was not foreign to have 30-minute games. Look, I just want to say there towards the end that the extension by Leoric, Snitch's micro was insane.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about it a lot where timing is very crucial in games. How fast you get rotations, how quickly, the timeliness of what they did. The positioning that he had on that Leo to get into position was just to get into Worgen form so he could go in and dive out if needed, but he ripped the Curse Bullet, they got the blow up. He kept his inner beast up this entire time, ended up microing away, getting the shots on the sidewall, moved over into position, got the heals, and he kept that inner beast up to allow the boss to be ripped down, that way it didn't reset. He kept that up long enough that by the time they made it to the keep, he was able to get back onto that inner beast. That right there is a display of mechanics at the highest possible level. That was insane play.
Snitch isn't messing around. around. Team Dignitas are not messing around. They won a grand finals, and nothing showed that more than how fast they counter-engaged.
I mean, that Untune that came out straight up a snitch should have been a kill from if Gina shows up, gets Blizzard off, the Water Elemental connects, but we had the Shadow Stock one to make sure that he goes into stealth mode, so you can't even put the Water Elemental on top of him to get that proc, and then the
Corner
Sanctification
sync.
just for good measure. Like, this much was there just to keep Snitch alive. Dignitas, as you mentioned, is not messing around.
I was just a bit disappointed by Miracle because I felt there were so many instances where they were looking to execute a combo and it just didn't work out, and it was even close. Especially Judy really struggled a lot more on Diablo than I expected. He was not really landing those apocalypses the way he wanted to. He had a couple of engages where he was trying to go for a setup, didn't work out at all. And then he got blown up twice at the last defense without even having a sliver of hope of survival there. So he really struggled in that game.
Early on, though, early on was pretty good for
Yeah.
Miracle. It's just like they stepped on a coiled snake.
Yeah.
Or an angry owl, or whatever Team Dignitas are, and that was
Who?
their undoing.
I'm like, where are you walking?
Oh,
Angry owls
man.
on the ground that you step on?
Okay, I've stepped into something, that's for sure. We're going to hear from our sponsors when we come back. We'll see if Dignitas takes it home.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
Well, Team Dignitas are but one game away from a rematch with Gen.G, a rematch of a rematch with Gen.G in the grand finals. And we haven't even brought it up yet, but I think it's a really important point to do this. This is the last match for JPL.
Yeah,
Well, tournament for JPL.
It definitely is, and that's even more pressure on him. So right now, you know he's going to play his heart out if at any point they fall behind to make sure that they're not losing the series. But after the initial loss on the first map, they now have 2 in a row. Again, we have basically a repetition of the first semifinal here today, at least up to this point. So things are looking good for them.
Which means Miracle would take the win on the next map, no?
That would mean that if we're going to be having that happening whatsoever, and then
gotta-
go to that game 5, that could be
Got to go
exciting.
Infernal Shrines, though,
Yeah.
right? If we're going to repeat.
I mean, I'm okay with the 5-mapper.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm totally fine with it. I guess just talking a little bit more about that JPL point. JPL is going to be leaving a legacy on Heroes of the Storm no matter what happens here today. But he does want that big tournament win. And it was kind of funny because I've never seen a spot where JPL has mentioned that he's nervous before. And the other day I bumped into him in the elevator and he was like, I could actually just play my last series tomorrow and that could be it. I've never seen those nerves from him before. But it also shows why he has nerves of steel because he's still showing up on the stage and delivering. I mean, you guys talk about a Stitch all the time, but this guy has been an amazing European player for so long that, again, his legacy is going to leave a major mark on Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, he has changed tank meta as we have known it many a time.
Everything that he's done, I mean, anytime he grabs something, I mean, how many times have they pulled out the Stitches in the middle of the tournament and somebody tries to emulate it? Everybody always tries to do what he does, and they never do it quite as good. Maybe Breeze in Europe, he's pretty good, but everybody tends to latch on to things that he's done throughout his entire career.
And what a heartache it would be to not be able to make it at least to grand finals for them. But we know that they want so much more. They've been trying to get this win, and I feel like they've never been closer.
The one funny thing with JPL was always when you ask them in front of the series how they're going to do is always like, no, we're going to lose. even if they're on a 20-0 win streak in scrims, they're also, no, we're going to lose. And the second he tells you, oh, we're going to win this, you're like, okay, they are in trouble. That was the one meme with Dignitas that they always had going around.
Ah, so just reverse psychology yourself. I got it. That's surely a thing.
Takes
way
the
to go
pressure
for
off.
it. Yeah. No, he's always been like that. Even when we had them secured for BlizzCon in the first seed, and there was a match happening for the online play, I was like, hey, any fun things gonna come out? You gonna show us some different plays? And he goes, no, I'm here to win, period. Like him and Snitch are probably the rocks on this team that speak towards that. They are here for the victories, and they play to win every single time. So when he does pull up those weird Stitches plays or whatever takes that you don't normally see in the meta and is meta defining, it's because they actually believe in changing the meta that we see it as.
And this team together has dominated the Western region. It's just that one last hurdle to be a world champion that has been Gen.G. And it's made it to where it's not even necessarily a disappointment that they lost at the mid-season brawl to Gen.G because that match was so close. It could have gone either way, and it was just such an honor for them to even be a part of that and make history like that.
Yeah, but for him and Snitch, I mean, this was the second time in a row that they ended up in the best of 7 and lost it on the final map. So they are sitting there, you know, they want that big victory right now. It happened against Fnatic, it happened against Gen.G. Especially for Snitch, I always felt bad. You always saw him sitting there and it's like, again, in the final moment, we're just not able to make that little step between victory and defeat. And that's why here with JPL now, they want to make sure that this is the time when they take the title.
But all the expectations are on Team Dignitas. There's nothing expected of Miracle past this point. It's icing on the cake almost. Does that maybe give Miracle the freedom to bring in some of those comfort picks that we've seen from them in the past?
Yeah, they mentioned nerves in the interview, but there's a certain point to where you're up here long enough, you get used to it. And for Nacho Gen, he is a world champion, so they still have somebody on that team, the same as Wubby, and that offlaner. The offlaners both have a championship to their name. It's been a while for Nacho Gen, but this is still two of the best that we've had over the years. So you still have that element to you, but you have the up-and-comers that when you don't have that weight on you, we've seen similar runs like we saw in Europe with Zealots and leftovers on that team. There's a certain point of you get the nerves out of your system, and then you just have fun and you play and you just enjoy it.
I mean, one of the things that we've seen here on the stage in the past was when Fnatic was going against MVP Black, and they came in and said, we're not going to take a map. We have no chance against these guys. They are unbeatable. So there was zero pressure on them. Then they start playing, and all of a sudden they win game after game, and they're like, boys, we can actually do this.
What I loved about that too is that is a theme that has held true this BlizzCon too, is that after they beat Gen.G, then MVP Black, they were like, I feel like we already won the grand finals. We beat MVP Black, now we gotta play Ballistics? Like, okay, but we already did the thing that we really wanted to do, and if Miracle could get the win here, they would feel the same. Now, both of these teams have been known for their team fighting, their mechanical strength, and we've got a lot of teams that are looking to brawl, and here we can see how much time for these teams is devoted to team fighting. And Miracle is right at the top. Team Dignitas, they're third. We expect the Korean teams to be up toward the top. Trick, do you feel like maybe if we can get a place where there is more team fighting, that this would be maybe a way for Miracle to bring it back?
I mean, that's why you look at the map bans if BOE is not here. Dignitas doesn't want to give that option.
Right.
You look at Europe, and typically we are a region that is a little bit more slow and methodical when it comes to our battlegrounds. Sure, we know how to find isolation and get picks, but we are looking at the macro game overall in terms of our offensive capabilities. That's what we're moving into. So it's no shocker that the top two teams when it comes to actual game fighting is going to be the Korean teams. In fact, if China would have lasted a little bit longer, I could imagine them starting to even eclipse EU as well. So yes, Miracle is a team fight team, and if they can get to a battleground that gives us engagements, if Dignitas lets up at all, that's where we're going to see them move in.
Well, let's see where we move into then, and if it's a team fight focused map, or if Team Dig can out-macro Cursed Hollow. That's a big battleground, Jay-How.
Well, we know the Hanzo factor for the boss play, but what we've seen from Dignitas over the years, they've run Greymane on this map countless times. They can play the macro game. They do very good in rotations, map manipulation, all things that they have, and then you factor in the solo laner. Urel not as popular on this map, maybe a higher prioritization on Dahaka, and the way that Dignitas can maybe play around that and get some advantages early. When we saw them just the other day, they were going against the Maiev, they had the Blaze, they countered it perfectly, and I think they have just tools at every different department to say, hey, look, we're willing to concede certain parts of the map to get control later.
You just have a lot more options on this map in the way that you play it, especially on the decision-making side, when it's not only about the tributes, but you have a double boss, so that always allows a huge amount of plays here. I love, again, that we're seeing these Medivh adjustments. It shows that we have, from Miracle, a lot of research that went into this, but it also leaves us, again, for the second time in a row now, in a position where those double tank bans that we've seen on map 1 and map 2 are not going to be a thing. So we will have Judy with a choice here.
Hanzo also becomes a primary target too. You were mentioning the double boss being available, start to hammer huge on this battleground. You were talking about the double boss plays, but you can also move into global plays. There's also the ability to say, you know what, we're going to pick one lane and just run it all the way down and start to hammer 3-man compositions. And we also have the ability for Abathur compositions. But not today, Miracle says, they ban them out.
Super smart, because on Towers of Doom, Tempest twice let through Abathur versus both Heroes Hearth and Team Dignitas, and both of them ended up 6-capping them. So this is a good, nice adjustment to see the consideration of the macro game for Miracle, who haven't played Cursed Hollow this tournament or even in part 2, so there's not a lot of data for Team Dignitas to know on what Miracle like here.
Well, the last time we saw Dignitas on this was when Snitch was on that Zeratul, making some of the best Zeratul plays you'll ever see. So they have that in their back pocket. It might actually warrant a ban in the second ban phase. Gen.G picked up. Now we're going to see Tyrande, Garrosh, so a very strong tanky front line around those. Tyrande, we know the sustain there. You can maybe get the Groundbreaker, get the taunt onto that Gen.G, so you have control. But Diablo, without that being let through, your options are more limited in terms of how you can latch on to a hero like Gen.G.
Queen Tyrande immediately also gives you scouting opportunities. You can double check the boss the entire time. You have interrupt potential against tribute channels, and you have the kill potential with Garrosh and his flip. but we have now the aggressive picks on the side of their opponent. Miracle again with the Anubarak here, and also the global play in their hands with the Hawk on the side lane.
I'm wondering how Anubarak is going to be for Judy here. Judy is one of these hit or miss Anubarak players that feels like he is either going to have a lights out game or the lights are going to be dimmed pretty darn quickly for Miracle.
Yeah, how much of that Garrosh pick do you feel is a JPL wanting to play Garrosh versus a, if we deny this, we're denying a lot from Judy?
It's a combo of both. It certainly is. I mean, we all saw what he did yesterday, man.
Hey.
Yeah, what we saw yesterday was ridiculous from Judy. You need to keep that away from him if you can, and Dignitas responds appropriately.
On a ban.
There's a lot of setup with the sleep dart, then you've got the isolation, the drag, the Anub, stun lock, Gen.G coming in. A whole lot flying at the faces of Team Dignitas.
It's one of the setups that we've seen from Miracle against Gen.G, and so Banana, you're just taking her out, make sure that those combos are not going to become an issue.
Well, when you look at Anubarak diving in, you need the dive buddy. You don't have that with Urel. So the Zeratul pick now is more threatening because you just VP the backline the minute Anubarak goes in. His health pool is small enough that you can get those takedowns. I'm just curious if we get a Blaze or not, because the Blaze can be cocooned, and we don't have a Li Ming or anything that can pop the cocoon super quick. But the Hanzo finally picked up to pair with the Raynor. Mobility, tankiness on the backline when it comes to Raynor, but everybody else is susceptible to dive.
There have been multiple games now where I've been sure Snitch is playing Zeratul.
That's what he wants you to think
Wubby
about.
can play Zeratul. I just don't think this is the place.
No, I know. It's just it's very curious to me. Malfurion and Jaina are the final two picks for Miracle. Let's see what Dig wants to get.
Maybe Jaina banned twice in a row now. I could have actually totally seen them go for a double reset setup here and trying to get Li Ming on their end as well, which they didn't really end up doing, but they have the lockdown with the roots that they can use. Blaze doesn't come too much as a shock considering what we still have on the board here. Could have thought about a Urel maybe, but Blaze for Weeby is going to be great in the setup now.
You just can't ignore the extra protection.
Yeah.
It's needed. Make sure Hanzo is nice and safe. Get them all cozy. Put them in a good spot. Put them in your bunker. And let them fire some flames there. So yeah, Dignitas pulling out the Blaze there for the fifth pick.
Well, Miracle is relying on Dahaka to give them that macro pressure, while at the same time, they have a lot of stun lock and a lot of kill potential. Seems like a combo that is well-rounded for what Miracle likes, but is it enough to take down Team Dignitas?
Judy did not look good on Diablo in the last game. Now he plays on a hero that can get blown up a lot quicker even than Diablo, so I feel it hinges really on him. If he somehow can make that Anubarak work without having an extra layer of protection, they have a chance here, but right now I'm looking at this, and with the last game still in my mind, I think Dignitas has a fantastic chance of closing out the series.
A lot of it, I think, does come down to the point you made, is they're going to rely on the Dahaka to do most of the macro and then allowing that four-man to roam. But when you have the Hanzo, you have the boss play, you can do things slightly different. You could ignore some of those team fights. Don't allow Jaina to get her trait finished, make her more of a liability very late into the game without that ice block. So there is a lot that Dignitas can do to stay away from that style of play. But I agree with you that it is solely around that Dahaka to make most of the macro plays while the rest of the team does work. It's just a matter of, will Dignitas allow them to be sought after? They have the vision control with the Sentinel from Tyrande.
And Hanzo. There's so much vision there for Team Dignitas and so much boss control.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, and then you look at the composition for Miracle, as you guys are mentioning, there's so many squishies that can be picked off, even Dahaka to a degree. If you lock him down just enough, you can blow him up. And anytime that one target is lost, you know Dignitas is going to be saying, can we boss right now? And if the answer is even close to a yes, they're going to beeline over, grab that puppy, and push a lane.
Well, if you're a Miracle fan, they need to hear you right now, because if they don't win this game, they're going home. Game 4 between Team Dignitas and Miracle begins right now.
Miracle putting it all on the line here with some aggressive plays. Will Judy's Anubarak be hit or miss today? That is the question, and I need to see the answer.
I'm scared for them now.
Yeah.
First game was fantastic. I came into the day and said, okay, Dignitas has to work for the victory here, but this draft is a risk that Miracle is running now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing is that Gen.G is always a scary hero to play against. There's always a possibility for those sets, and of course to find those couple of picks. So it's definitely a possibility here for Miracle to pull off this win, and they're going to have to, obviously, or they are going home.
Exactly. This is the last hurrah for them, and it's going to hinge on Judy, on his performance on the front line, that Anubarak play. Can he find those engages?
So here we go. Game number 4. Dignitas hoping to close it out. Here they are on the left. JPL playing a Garrosh, looking for those combos. Wubby nailing the jet propulsions all day. Poik on the Hanzo. Gonna bring out those scatter arrows. Snitch there with a Raynor, actually. And Zelia on Tyrande. Give it up again for Team Dignitas.
And maybe for the last time at this tournament, to the right side of the map here on Cursed Hollow, we have Sniper on Gen.G. We're seeing Frankel with the burst damage on Jaina, trying to deliver those blizzards. Nitrogen on the off lane with the Haka. Blue Beetle on Malfurion, and Judy on Anubarak. Ladies and gentlemen, Miracle!
Calder, hold on one second. Come on, guys, give it for Miracle. They've had an amazing run. Let's get one more cheer for them. Miracle has been destroying here. Can they tie it up?
I definitely want Game 5.
I want Game 5 as well. That's why I asked for those cheers there. Miracle, step it up here, and immediately you see the three-man lane that Dignitas loves to pull off on Cursed Hollow. Raynor already up here in the top lane with the support to help him out, and he got Wubby on that front line to act as the pseudo tank.
Shando's Clarity taken here for Blue Beetle as well. The combo with Jaina trying to get those cooldowns recharged. And you can get a lot of damage out if he does his job well. So we're going to find out if the damage output is not going to be enough, but they need that setup. And that's where Judy comes into play here on his Anubarak. But now it's the split on the map where we have a three-man top side for Dignitas trying to pressure the structures.
Judy doing his best to slow this down, and Anubarak actually isn't the best when it comes to wave players, so he'll need some help pretty darn soon. Now Furion's on the way, while Miracle has started to put Jaina in the bottom right to start working on those giants, trying to offset this pressure from Dignitas. But if Dignitas ever scouts us out, and actually here comes the Toronto, as it zooms across the map, they will start to push up even more aggressively.
Of course, if you have a Jaina in your midst, then going for those camps can be quite easy. The more she builds that up, and then you can just simply take those later on even more quicker than right now. You get a bit of pressure going through the bot lane. That's where Nitrogen is going to have an easier time against Hanzo. But you also, at the same time, give up some topside control, and that resulted in one tower nearly taken out by Dignitas.
That's right. Getting pretty darn low, and we also have the Giants coming in here soon. We will be having in the tribute spawn pretty close for our teams. I'm looking in the bottom though, because Poik's in trouble. Oh my gosh, he jumps out. Even his brother can't find the kill.
Good reaction by him though. Very quick on the
reaction.
buttons here, and immediately jumping out. He already knew that something was likely coming his way here, but that was definitely an attempt by Miracle to just simply blowing apart here.
And it's important that he doesn't die there too, because he has to defend that giant push coming on the bottom.
Yeah.
And if suddenly he gets picked off, the Dignitas and their entire attempt to push down the battleground and grab down this keep here in the middle, or get support in the middle with that bruiser camp, suddenly just goes completely away because Raynor has to go to the bottom lane.
And talking bruiser camp, Sniper actually goes down in a one-on-one against Poik. Oh my god.
How? Judy comes in for the burrow charge. Poik finds those scatter arrows, gets in the arrows as well, and Judy will be down there in the bottom lane for a little bit, but look at that bruiser camp that's starting to push in the middle. This gives Dignitas a wide opening to play for the tribute.
That is brutal. Poik sitting there, not only defending against the Siege Giants, but also just simply going up to Genji and saying, hey dude, get wrecked, taking him down in a one-on-one situation after he just had to tap the fountain. That was huge.
Snitch pushing out Judy, keeping him away here. Tribute will be here in about a second here. Gonna have Genji showing up too. Jaina's working on that middle lane. Let's see if Dignitas is able to grab this Tribute. Even if Miracle doesn't grab this Tribute, delaying it is huge, and they need to pull that off there. The longer that you can delay this Tribute, the better you hold off that curse, that level 10 power spike that typically comes in from teams.
Yeah, Judy is still sitting there. Blue Beetle around, so they're trying to go for that follow-up with the roots on the ground, but the damage needs to be there as well, and Jaina made the rotation towards the middle to take down that bruiser camp. Those two were colliding, and that puts a bit of pressure onto Dick, but we already see Snitch pushing it out.
I really like this answer back from Miracle. Get that middle lane war happening. Snitch has to come over and clear that out, and him not being there means Miracle can run down the bottom lane. JPL ready for Judy, though, goes in for a quick combo. Sniper starts to get the channel here. JPL is going to step up, doesn't need to. Al comes in.
Al comes through and goes for the interrupt. JPL, there's the roots on the ground. No follow-up just yet. Damage came out from Jaina, burning the cooldown here on the Blizzard.
Raynor rotating down two, coming from behind. Frankel should be able to intercept him, but plays in the middle lane in case Raynor needs help.
And Celia just sending the owls.
Wow, constant hits here. Delay, delay, delay. That's the name of the game here.
And they're doing it well. They have the earlier level 7, so Miracle actually backs off for a moment. And they might have to give this one up. They're trying to look for the angle, but the shots don't connect, and that's Sniper running away as Dignitas secures the first tribute of the game.
Sniper unable to get that full connect there. The experience also going the lead of Dignitas. So on all fronts, Dignitas got to be happy. They have a kill, they have an experience lead, they have a tribute, they're building towards level 10. Things are looking great. They're going to have to find a way to find a pick or two to make sure they don't fall too behind.
Yeah, exactly. If Miracle isn't careful, this is going to be the end for them on their road to a potential grand final at BlizzCon 2018. Dignitas, they have the lead in the best of 5. They have those 2 victories already, and Miracle, if they really want the 5th game, they have to find an opening there somewhere. Now granted, A lot of this is going to come down to level 10 and how they can play around it.
Yeah.
But at this point, Dignitas is definitely taking these small leads that we've been talking about.
And you gotta love the lane setup too. With putting Hanzo in that bottom lane, you have him as close as possible towards that boss in case you do find the picks that you're looking for. And if Dignitas does ever find that pick, you can say, all right, Hanzo, hop on top of there, I'm on my way down. And you get those scatter arrows, and you shred through that puppy. Now, Dignitas is clearing up the middle lane. Tribute spawns here on the bottom left, just typically in favor of the blue team.
Exactly. So they have the tribute spawning on their own side. They're also the team that has a slight lead in experience here. But the Haka at the top lane can offset all of that. Miracle is going to try and delay, make sure that the Haka gets some value. In an ideal world, he would even find the engage here and open up a kill opportunity. Already the flip into the backline. The roots on the ground. So is the Blizzard as Miracle dishes out the damage. But the Jet propulsion and the kill. Jaina is down and Blue Beetle might be next.
Malfurion's in trouble. Sniper goes in to get some damage out. Azalea comes up from the side. He's going to have a Luna Flare out pretty darn soon. Can he land it on Judy? The slow comes out. Judy's going to go and start retreating. Dahaka just a bit too late. Dignitas immediately turn around and get the kill. And here's what we've been talking about. That boss race.
They go for the boss straight away, and why wouldn't they? You have Hanzo in your lineup, so there is the damage. Miracle, they already know this is coming. They're trying to get the boss towards the top side. Garage is there, might send it all across the screen, but to be honest with you, Dignitas with the level 10, with the push, can go for an easy fourth here. The world is their oyster at this point. Dignitas, they have their sights locked onto the grand final, and Miracle so far looks like they might have trouble coming back into this.
And Dignitas was having a 2-0 lead on the Tribute side. We're going to go ahead and push the bottom lane instead. Commit to that fort, commit to that keep wall, get that opened up here. Even have Garrosh rotating down to grab that eye in the sky there to make sure that they do not get flanked down by Miracle, who is currently working on level 10.
Yeah, Garrosh is already sitting at the side here. The fort at the bot lane is about to go down. You have a 1.5 level lead now. Dignitas making the rotation, will be even staying around, making sure that he picks up the experience in form of waves here, so they're not missing out on a beat.
Tribute spawning in 25 seconds. Dignitas working on the Bruiser camp. They'll have that pushing in the middle. Miracle's already done those, as that'll be pushing in the middle. The top boss is heading towards that fort. Dignitas can actually just leave that alone if they would like to, but you can also put Hanzo up there to clear that up thanks to the scatter arrows.
And this is of course the time where we could see the first curse. Miracle is going to try and at least secure that tribute for themselves. They have Notch in the bot lane. He can help with the defense. It's a very early boss, so it's not going to do too much damage here. But Dignitas has taken a significant lead. And Curse at this point would put Miracle into an incredibly difficult situation since they are already losing the outer defense here.
Miracle does have Dahaka coming from the side. Taunt comes out. Sniper goes in, but a Nubrak is already down. Bunker out once again from Wubby, and Dignitas piles in.
Nacho Gen about to fall here. The burrow in the last second is going to delay the inevitable as we have the second kill coming through. Dahaka eliminated, and Dignitas going for the tribute, securing the curse in their game and putting Miracle on notice.
And one thing you do with this curse is you're just going to soak up this entire map, get that experience lead, and keep pushing the envelope. Snitch already clearing the top lane. There we go. Deciding whether or not he wants to join out his team. The rest of Dignitas currently in the middle lane, already clearing out that wave and looking to open this keep wall.
Dignitas is spreading immediately on the map. They're taking all the lane experience and making sure that the 4 tier is going to fall. The 1.5 level lead now resulting in a talent advantage as well. And only 8.5 minutes in, Dignitas is dominant in game 4.
Any team, you ask them in the world, they would love to have catapults pushing in around 9 minutes of the map, and Dignitas may be able to achieve that. That big camp here in the middle. I'm actually a little bit worried. If there's a pick that comes in, Dignitas can go straight for the core.
Dignitas is going in deep for this one. They want to be in the finals. They want to go up against Gen.G, and they are making the plays right now to make that dream a reality. Pushing through the middle, going for the keep here. Before 10 minutes are even on the board, and Miracle is having trouble. Here comes the flip, the stun, the kill. Dahaka is down, and Miracle is on the ropes.
Absolute devastation by Team Dignitas. Dignitas also steps up and looks for this keep. Judy in the bottom is working on clearing out this wave that's already done damage to this keep wall, but Dignitas, after that pick, can make a play for double keeps here. Wubby going forward, trying to get a Jet Propulsion on Malfurion, does not connect, but that's okay. Grab more catapults for the map.
Dignitas looking insane. They are trying to get the kill. X-Strike being used to save Sniper, but that is a double keep play. 3 levels ahead, 6 kills against 0. 9.5 minutes into the game. Dignitas making this look like quick match.
Dignitas in 4th gear right now, but need to pull it back a little bit and go into cruise control. You have a 3-level lead, you're moving towards level 16. Miracle is completely on the back foot and have no major tools except for Dahaka on that global. And with you having a Tyrande and an Owl, you should be able to exactly know where he is at all points. Dignitas just needs to make the right plays and then close the series out.
Dignitas is about to grab a 2-talent advantage, at least for a few seconds. We are seeing the count now taken towards the top. Bosses are going to come up soon, and then you can make a play for that. 16 is going to be incredible for them. It's insane how much Dignitas is currently dominating this fourth game. Again, the attack against Judy, and he barely gets out.
You mentioned those bosses coming up. 1 minute for the bosses to spawn on the bottom left and the top right side. 60 seconds. Dignitas will have 16. They have Giants prep to have that pushing in the top lane. The whole entire world is their oyster.
No giddy up this time. We have the rallying cry for Snitch, so getting the extra movement and attack speed if you are using your Inspire around allied heroes, and that definitely has pushed them over it for a couple of times in these big team fights that we saw. Pain and Red still coming in as the level 16 talent, but Miracle, they need a miracle right now. An incredible one at that, because they are down for the count. They haven't even found a kill yet.
Yeah, they are getting into YOLO territory. They even go to that boss bottom left, see if they can maybe scout out Dignitas, get an idea where they're at. Now the Giants being grabbed on the top left, they know at least one is in that area. Dignitas hiding all vision on the battleground. They don't want Miracle to know where exactly they are. Miracle getting ready for that boss. About to pop up pretty darn soon for both of our teams.
Everybody was talking about Dignitas against Gen.G, and Miracle in game number 1 nearly destroyed those teams, but now look at it, Nubarak getting destroyed here. The arrow not even needed. Hanzo sends it out, but by the time it's about to hit, the bug is already dead. They go for the boss, and Miracle is just standing around. Dignitas said, yeah, come at us, have fun. Here comes Dahaka, and he's already about to go out.
Dahaka comes out of a bush, but he's the one that gets ganked. Webby goes in with the Depth Potion, locks him down. Blue Beetle has to use the Tranquility to stay alive, and he's kiting away. At the same time, the Banshee putting Sniper in a bad position. But Frankel finds himself on the wrong side of a wall. He's cleaned up, and at the same time, on the back, more are falling.
They're going for Blue Beetle. They're going for Nacho Jin. They're trying to take down Malfurion, and he finally falls 4 down as Dignitas is obliterating the entire lineup, turns the attention towards the boss. 11 kills against 0, 3 levels ahead, 17 against 14. Dignitas is on their way to the grand final.
Exactly. Does Dignitas believe they can finish the kill here? They're gonna go ahead and tap, make sure they're all set up and good to go. Snitch already moving over to this tower, gonna try and grab it. Judy trying to slow down time here. Just dropping a cocoon to give time for his teammates to come back.
Yeah, they will have the time to come back. The question is, can they even defend here? The keeps are gone, and Dignitas has a 3-level advantage. They have a talent advantage. They have catapults at the bot lane. The boss is moving in. Miracle trying to set up that defense. Arrow missing, but does it even matter?
Doesn't even matter here. Can they defend? Immediately Stitch moves in. Boyd on the back left here trying to kite away. You have Sniper trying to chase on the backside. Has to use the X-Spec to escape.
Whoopi is about to fall here, but they kill Gen.G instead. He's down. Nacho Jin is about to fall here. He's moving into the boss stun. Barely gets out. And Nubarak trying to re-engage and turn it, but he dies next.
Frankel can't even get to a spot to drop any damage here. Another one falls. Nacho Jin gets picked up. It's going to be a total of 3 picked up. Blue Beetle and Frankel, the only ones left here for Miracle.
2 down, and they're going for it. Team Dignitas take down the core on Curse Solo and advances to the grand final of BlizzCon 2018 to face Gen.G.
Dignitas last year set the goals to make it to the BlizzCon finals. That's why they put this roster together, and they've finally achieved that one goal. But they still have one more left, and that's to win a BlizzCon title. And they have put themselves in the position to finally deliver on that one attempt that they built this entire roster for.
We talked in the past about they always had this slow start into the series, and today it actually was true once again. They lose map 1, but then they come out swinging. 3 dominant performances accumulating in that last final victory here on Cursed Hollow. Not a single death on their side, 14 kills against 0. Gen.G has definitely been put on notice here. They know this is going to be a tough grand final for the Greens.
Dignitas definitely gets the big victory, but Miracle, man, you got to get some cheers for this team here. They made it so far, and this is a roster that I'm going to be keeping my eye on next year, because they deserve the position here at BlizzCon, and I hope to see them back once again.
They had a fantastic run in the tournament, but they were a bit outmatched here in the semifinal. They had a great start into it with the first map win, but then afterwards they crumbled.
Dignitas getting prepared for the Gen.G rematch that we've all been waiting for. MSB, that magic was so great to see. But let's go ahead and send over to Kevin, who is actually talking with Snitch right now.
That's right, Tim. I'm here with Snitch. Snitch, you did it. You visualized it. You wanted it all year long. You knew you'd get here. Congratulations. Amazing. Yeah, that's right. One more round. But take me back to the team mindset on game one. Obviously, coming into the match on that loss, I'm just curious what you guys were thinking. Did it rattle the confidence a bit going into game two, or how did you guys bring it back so strongly going into that second game?
I think it was actually the complete opposite for us. I think game one gave us a lot of confidence. We felt in complete control the whole game, and it felt like it was our mistakes that threw it. So in that sort of scenario, we felt like we were the better team straight away coming into the series after that match, and we knew like if we just play clean the rest of these games, we'll take them all very easily. Awesome.
Snitch, your team always shows incredible moments of team synergy. Some very strong examples being the bunker plays on Tomb. There was a moment there when you guys bunkered and counter hit so fast, it was unbelievable. I want to know, are those things you guys are shot calling and planning, or are they happening naturally as a team, like instinctively? Like, how does that work?
I think it's definitely a bit of both. We've been exposed to these sort of scenarios so many times, and Whoopi's so confident on players that every time these things go, he starts screaming bunker, and everybody immediately, thinks, get in the bunker, burn, we're looking to turn. Like, we've kind of made that play so many times. I think it is kind of ingrained in everyone. I think for our team specifically, we like to everybody brings individual plays to the table, and we try to get it in everybody's mindset, how those plays work, how we make them work as a team. So I think as time's gone on with plays in the game, we've just all grown to understand how it works through Whoopi, teaching us the rest of the team how to play with it, and then it lets us all use it to its maximum potential.
Well, it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's really, really amazing. I know I'm going to let you go. You got to get ready for this grand final match. But like I said, Gods of the East versus Gods of the West. It's happening. The dream's coming true. You got Gen.G. I want to know what you have to say to your fans, your families, anything at all. The floor is yours.
I mean, we have so much support here. It's incredible. BlizzCon's always an amazing stage to play on, and this is the reason. It's the community, the fans. It's so amazing to have so many people supporting you. All the North American fans here as well who want us to win for the West. We're going to do the very best we can. We've trained our whole year to come here. We're so very thankful for your support, and we hope we can bring it home.
All right, man. I'm going to let you get to it. Congratulations, Snitch, everybody. All right, we're headed back to the desk.
It's not lost on me that we exited the group stage, dig up just one game over Gen.G, and we started to ask questions like, are Dig the favorites coming into the bracket stage, coming into BlizzCon? And now same thing happens. It takes Gen.G 5 games to make it to grand finals. Dig did it in 4.
Yeah, but also Dig at this tournament dropped the map to a Miracle, and Gen.G, at least at the tournament here, didn't.
True.
Welcome to Caldor.
My favorite thing is when they won, what we missed was the crowd was actually on their feet cheering for Dignitas. So they truly have won over a lot of people here. But the way that Dignitas played that game, everything that they did to control that game, I mean, it was truly just a Dignitas performance. If you've ever just wondered, all right, what do they look like? That right there is just peak performance for them in that last game. And there was one small moment. I actually have a replay that I'd like to go over because it just kind of, it was the nail in the coffin, and you don't always say the nail in the coffin at 11-10, but the whole thing that just happened was at the start of this, the bottom boss that was able to push through, they ignored the double boss play because it's all about making the 5-minute rotation on the boss. So all they have to do is get one kill from here on out. They're already a full level up. I mean, it's nothing game-changing. It's just the significance of this play as we go forward because Sniper is going to try and identify this. He has vision. But the minute Judy comes through, I think we've highlighted this in draft, is that Inubarak is one of the squishiest tanks when he doesn't have support. They all in collapse on him. There is nothing because that is a Malfurion who lacks the burst heals. That right there, and there's the bunker play Snitch was just talking about. They use this to prioritize targets. You can see Nacho Jin trying to walk away. At this point, you're basically a dead Dahaka. You're not making it out of there. There's nothing that you can do to recover from that situation. But what that did at the tail end of this is it gave them more map control. It gave them a level and a half lead. And then no matter what happened, because they took the boss around 6 minutes, no matter what happened, 5 minutes later, you could see the position of Miracle, the position of Dignitas towards that bottom boss. And that put Dignitas up a 16 talent tier versus, I think, 14 or 13 at the time. That's what that play does there. It just puts the nail in the coffin, and Dignitas knows how to finish those games. From that moment, I guarantee you, confidence is at peak at that moment right there. And Dignitas had that game won after that play. It was
The
Very
funniest
impactful.
thing to me was actually when we saw the Hanzo arrow come through. And Nubarak was dead already, and it hit Small Fury in the back, who just used his tranquility, and then he's just dancing around there. There's no one around to heal. He's trying to get close to anyone. At some point, you see him give up and just try and save himself.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though, about Dignitas that is going to make this next series so darn magical, is if they find a position where they are in a lead, they are going to put you in a spot where you have one option, and you better beat them on that option, because if you don't, you've lost the game.
Before we go, I want to ask you guys, now, Miracle has done something that has not happened in the Korean region for a long time, and that's take out one of the big three in Ballistics, and then they took out Tempest beyond that. What does this mean as we look at Korea moving forward in HGC, Jehao?
It changes the landscape entirely. I mean, that has been so just ingrained there that it's 3 teams. There's no 3 teams other than the Ballistics, Tempest, MVP Black, Gen.G, whatever their banner is. Blossom started to come up, but all of a sudden Miracle just, they're like, you know what? Forget top 4, forget top 3. We're literally top 2 team. That is unprecedented, and it changes the landscape of Korea next year. You still have Gen.G at the top. Who knows, you know, what happens in the future? But the Korean region, who we already know is the most dominant, became even scarier going forward.
Who was the most dominant until today?
Ooh.
Well, thank you guys
Fix
so
that for
much.
you.
For the region as a whole.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you guys so much for your input. Guys, there's only one match left for this year's Heroes Global Championship, but before we get to the grand finals, we've got an Orpheus special segment coming up right after the break.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Yeah, and he some damage. The arrow, they hit, they go for the bug, they want him. JPL in trouble.
He gets out, Stay a While Listen comes out at the same time, but it's not missing. At the same time, Stitch turns around, gets the combo, it connects, Sniper in trouble, and here's an Entomb.
The Entomb comes out and blocks the pathway, but JPL falls the counter kill once more against Sonya. Sniper is also in trouble. He jumps out, it's not enough, the kill is there. Ask here for Miracle. Seraphim on the side of Ural as we're seeing them move in 19 to 21. The cocoon is out. Dignitas tries to make the play, but Poik is under attack from the back line.
Divinity Wrath comes in, same time Sniper tries to go for the retreat. Arrow comes out, connects up on Snitch, but Snitch jumps in. There goes the mouse from Toronto's already been deleted though.
Tirana is down and they're looking at Poik, and Gul'dan falls. Miracle with a double kill, and Miracle looks for more.
Miracle is just running over Team Dignitas right now. Snitch has some decent shields and Wubby trying to stay alive with JPL, but do they have the damage here to actually fight against Miracle? And the answer's gotta be a no. Lior gets cleaned up and Nitrogen makes Snitch.
I don't see them recovering.
Sounds the fight here. Remember, there are 3 turrets here for Dignitas. Dignitas steps up. The control point being used here on the top side. Urel on the back line.
This is the chance. 13 isn't there yet. This is the best fight you're going to get, Miracle. Sanctification is on the ground. They're looking for the kill. The bunker is there.
Oh!
The X strike to the face. Snitch with the triple kill.
Comes over and drops down the water elemental. He's trying to force the engage. Blue Beetle steps up. Stay a while. Listen. He'll hit Snitch, but the bunker comes out. Dignitas turns around. Jet propulsion. There goes one. Sanctification, and there's a second.
Double kill against Chain on Deckard Kane, and they go for the triple as Leoric falls. Miracle. It's about to hit. The bug is already dead. They go for the boss, and Miracle is just standing around. Dignitas said, yeah, come at us. Have fun. Here comes the Haka, and he's already about to go out.
Dahaka comes out of a bush, but he's the one that gets ganked. Wubby goes in with a jet potion, locks him down. Blue Beetle has to use the tranquility to stay alive, and he's kiting away. At the same time, the Banshee putting Sniper in a bad position.
Frankel!
But Frankel finds himself on the wrong side of a wall. He's cleaned up, and at the same time, on the back, more are falling.
They're going for Blue Beetle. They're going for Najojin. They're trying to take down Malfurion.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA. Check out the new Blizzard Esports mobile app. For the first time ever, all Blizzard Esports content can be found in one place. Get the latest news and schedules for your favorite events all year long. Set alerts for tune-in reminders so you can watch live, and check scores to stay up to date. You can even tailor the look of the app to match your favorite game, and look forward to even more features coming in 2019. Download the Blizzard Esports mobile app now. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Global Games. New for the second season, we're proud to introduce HGG Cheer. Cheering is a way to show support for players and regions while boosting your presence in chat using bits, a virtual good you can buy on Twitch. Along the way, you'll unlock Hearthstone packs, new Twitch emotes, and a unique card back, while the players earn a share of the revenue. We'll see you in the tavern.
In the Overwatch League, you're hyping up the chat, taking your team to hashtag trending, and spreading memes at tracer level speed.
All while watching us cap the point.
Speed like that deserves a network that can keep up. With T-Mobile, get all the Overwatch League you can handle with coast-to-coast coverage. Now your arena is where you make it.